Welcome back to Norfolk Notables. I'm Anne Marie Battistone, and you're watching Norfolk Public Access, or also known as NCTV. And today, my guest is Patricia St. Aubin. She swims for Swim Across America. She raises a lot of money, and she is certainly a notable here in Norfolk. And she also happens to be my friend. Oh, Patricia, I'm so glad for you to come.
Thank you, Anne
Thank
Marie.
you for coming
Thank
on.
you for giving me this opportunity.
Oh, now just tell me about your history of swimming. Where did you learn to swim?
Well, I grew up in South Dartmouth, down in New Bedford, and so there were a lot of beaches, and my mother had done it with my older brother and sister. She took everybody to the Y to learn how to swim for safety. And it turned out that I had a very natural inclination for swimming, and the coach at the time, Trixie Whalen, she was a war bride. She was British, and she had been on the British Olympic team. And she spotted some talent, I guess, and so she said to my mother, you know, this kid, I want to move her along very quickly. So I went from beginners to advanced competitive in a year. And I was competing at 6.
And you were competing now, was that intramural type of things with schools, or what was that? And how old were you then when you started?
6. I was like 6 years old.
Did they have competitions?
Yeah, they do. And then slowly but surely I became an AAU swimmer, which is, you know, an advanced level.
And that stands for?
You would have to ask.
American Association of Universities.
It's all for all sports, and I think it's Amateur Athletics Union.
All
right. That's what it is. So, we're going back many years here. So, anyway, so that's how the whole swimming thing got started. So I swam through high school.
And you competed? Were you on this team?
Yes, I competed in meets, regional meets, and went to Boston and went to the different colleges to use their pools to compete in my age bracket. And I went to Providence College. They didn't have a pool, so I sort of gave swimming up for my college years. And then I went back to it recreationally when I got out of college, just to sort of stay in shape. And it was something I always did easily and loved the sport. And then I began competing again in my late 40s. And so I've been to nationals and have always placed in the top 5 or top 10 nationally.
Now, by nationals, you mean?
National U.S. Masters swimming on a national level. You have to qualify with a certain time, even in older age brackets.
Now, are those the people that go into the Olympics?
There are former Olympic swimmers that swim at nationals. So nationals can be for younger people that are qualifying for the Olympics, but obviously when you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s, and up to 90s, you're not swimming in the Olympics anymore. But that's sort of my competitive swimming.
Now, when you had that hiatus, did you find it set you back a little bit when you went back to swimming?
I needed the break. I had been swimming, you know, from age 6 up till age 18, basically, and it had gotten a little bit, you know, boring or whatever. I was happy for the break in college, so I wasn't too regretful. Sometimes I think now about having swum through my college years, but I majored in accounting, and it was a difficult major, so I really needed to focus on my studies for the 4 years. So,
now, is it difficult to injure yourself swimming?
I've never injured myself.
I mean,
swimming.
general, because of the situation in the water and the buoyancy.
A lot of runners or whatever, people that have injured themselves doing something else, seem to end up in the pool for therapy. So sometimes swimmers get shoulder, injuries, but knock on wood, I never have. So I find it's a very nice sport, and it's something you can age with, obviously.
Now, which stroke do you prefer? Just the regular crawl?
Yeah, the freestyle. I'm pretty good on the back. That's what I was good at as a kid.
That must be tough on the shoulder. That's a full rotation, isn't it?
Well, you know, it's the back. You're lying on your back. It's the same as a crawl, but you're lying on your back.
You know, I never learned to swim, and I tried, and I couldn't get the breathing.
Oh, yeah, the breathing is... Yeah, there is.
Because when I've watched people, it looks like your mouth is right there at the water.
Yes, it is.
So how do you, is it just something you get a feel for of
Yeah,
how
just-
high you can come without coming too high and wasting energy?
Yeah, it's that's I think what I had was that natural inclination just to be able to position my body in the water and know there's actually like a valley that when you're
Right.
swimming that's where your mouth tends to go and where you tend to breathe. If you go too far, then you're going to send everything off balance.
Right.
So. But when I did this event for Dana-Farber, I'm out in the ocean. So, it's 11 miles out to Boston Light, and it's 11 miles back. So you're in rough seas. So you're going to swallow water out there. And that's, yeah, you do.
And it's salt water.
Yeah, that's salt water.
That doesn't make you nauseous or sick or?
No, I mean, it doesn't happen on every stroke that I gulp some in,
Yeah.
but because of the wake and whatnot,
Right.
it's not a pool that's
Right.
a lot more pristine than you will.
Now, how did you get involved with Swim Across America?
I got involved with Swim Across America when my best friend was diagnosed with colon cancer. He was diagnosed in 2005. We were hopeful for a couple of years, and then he had his liver out, it went to his liver, or not all of his liver, he had a portion of his liver out. And at some point I said, I knew this event was out there, and I just thought I should give back. Because of the sport that I loved, to be able to go out and swim. So that's, I probably got involved in 2007 or 2008 with Swim Across America, and did it and found that he was, it made for a nice day for him to come watch us swim and get his mind off of things. And so then I kept doing it. He died of colon cancer in 2010, and then I thought, well, should I continue doing this? And my husband said, yeah, you enjoy it, you do well raising money, it's fun, why don't you continue doing it? And then I did that year, and that year my brother was diagnosed with brain cancer.
I remember that.
With glioblastoma. So the cancer that affected Ted Kennedy
And I've heard
John
of some
McCain.
other, oh yes, that's
Yes,
right.
So it's there's several types of brain cancer, but that is the most common and it's the most deadly. So my brother lasted 13 months with it. He died at age 61, and so I've just kept on swimming. He died in 2014, so I've just decided I can't give up on it. This year I raised $7,780. Some years I've raised as much as $10,000 for the swim, and so.
What do you think you've raised total? Any idea?
Yeah, probably about $70,000.
Really?
Yeah, since I began doing this. So.
Now, and this goes to
it's
Dana.
Dana-Farber, and then in the last few years, they partnered with Mass General Pediatric Cancer Unit as well. So a smaller portion goes to Mass General, and the majority goes to Dana-Farber.
Now, do they ever have you all over, the local team? Do they have you over at the hospital for reception?
Yes. As a matter of fact,
And that's
they
a lot
do.
of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. The boat this year, the swim was on July 12th. The boat had about 55 swimmers, and between all of us, we raised a little over $261,000.
On that one event?
On that one event,
Oh,
right.
my goodness.
So there are Olympic swimmers too. This was all started with some thought to get Olympic swimmers involved. So we always have 2 or 3, sometimes upwards of 4 or 5 former Olympic swimmers involved and swim with us. So that's a lot of fun. And they bring their medals that they've won at the Olympics, and they go visit the children or people at Dana-Farber the day before. I did it once. Because I'm sort of preparing and trying to relax the day before because it's a big endeavor out there in the ocean. But I have done it once. I went to Dana-Farber to participate with the Olympians in what they do the day before.
Was it tough to go in there? I mean, these were kids?
Kids and adults and anybody. We were in the lobby for a while greeting people. People were in good spirits, and they're really happy to see athletes, come in and show their medals. So they try to make it a positive thing as much as possible. And certainly there's some sad instances.
Geez, just think about.
But that keeps you motivated.
Right.
I mean, the picture that I believe is potentially on the screen right now, you can see that we sign this, Why I Swim. This is all the swimmers that...
Now, where exactly is this?
This
is
is
in downtown.
at Rose Wharf, and
Okay.
that's where we leave from. And the Olympic swimmers do the photo op with the different TV stations and the Globe and the Herald, and they dive off the docks there at and then it's a relay, so we go in the water about 8 or 10 at a time, and we jump off the boat, which I think if you scroll forward, there's some pictures of us swimming. But we all sign this banner as to why we're swimming, so that everybody knows who you're swimming in memory of, or right now somebody that you're swimming in support of. And it's, just a really nice way to kick it off. And everybody meets. We get on the boat at 7:30 in the morning. We arrive at 6:30. They give us safety instructions. We have to have wetsuits because the temperature is quite cold out there.
Now, I have a technical question for you. Did you have to, pardon me, you must have had to work up to that mileage.
Well, I swim.
And did you practice in rough water? How did you do that?
Well, I swim every day, pretty much. I take Saturdays off, so I swim anywhere.
That must be time consuming.
I do it early in the morning.
I know, but it's a suit and get in, get out, and...
I got it down. I've done it all, pretty much all my life except that block.
And where do you go?
I go to one of the Ys locally, depending upon the schedule. And I'm swimming a mile or more every day. Today I did 2 miles, for example, this morning. So pretty good swimmer. It's not a struggle for me. The only thing is that when you do open water swim, which is this, you have to bring your head up from time to time because there's a big boat with a big orange buoy marker.
Out there with you.
Yeah, out there with us that you have to follow. And even with the waves and everything, it gets, you constantly kind of have to crane a little bit your neck to, keep in mind where you're swimming, because the currents and waves and whatnot will take you off course very easily.
Aren't there pools that have a wave going on against you? In some pools, do they have that?
No, most pools aren't set up like that. You can have one of those put in your home. They're called them, they sell them that way. And there's a wake that you swim against. I opt for just swimming in the pool.
But so did you do more lap? You must have had to increase your laps to be able to have the breath and everything to go that distance.
It's 22 miles in
Round trip?
totality, yes, but we're doing it as a relay, so there's about 10 swimmers in for about 15 or 20 minutes.
I thought it was one stretch.
No.
Oh, that's why I was asking.
I probably swam 3 or 4 miles that day.
Oh, okay.
And because I was in and out 4 or 5 times.
I see.
And some of the pictures that we have there will kind of show it a little bit more. I'm in that pack. If you can see, like the little yellow caps that we had on for safety.
Yes.
And see, that's the buoy marker. That's the boat that has the big orange buoy. But I was in a pretty early heat after the Olympic people were in. So this is by Logan, obviously. It wasn't exactly a pretty day at this point, but that was a plane landing and coming in for landing at Logan, and we were out right there.
It's a nice picture.
Yeah.
Now, when you're out there, there you go.
Yeah, so you have to ham it up a little when you jump off the boat, but you can see we're way out at that point because there's a buoy marker behind me. We're in the shipping lane.
This is fascinating me because I am afraid of water, and so how far down do you go and then come up?
Well, I'm jumping
about 6 feet
probably
or so?
20, 25 feet off the top of the boat there, and you go down. You're fairly buoyant. You might go down, for a few seconds, and then you naturally pop up. So. That's, but you have to ham it up for the audience. So that shows us swimming again. That's another heat. We're further out. You can kind of see the islands that are out there. And
you all swim parallel?
We try to stay together. Some people a little faster, some people a little slower. Sometimes the person that's running the heat switches people out because they're a little too fast for a heat, or they're a little too slow, but that heat's staying together pretty well. So, but again, that boat with the orange buoy marker. We have Coast Guard boats out with us. We have State Police, Boston Police.
They're not in this picture. Are they
No,
behind you?
they're running on the side of us to keep us safe, and because we're in the shipping lane, where the LNG tankers come in.
Well,
and
are they notified? They can't.
Yes.
Oh.
This was July 12th this year, and it has to be set up with all those entities well in advance that there's going to be swimmers out there that day in the Boston Harbor. And this is, I'm on a team.
Look at all the wonderful legs.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I guess it's
that's me, with the yellow cap on.
Yeah.
We decided to take a picture with the Boston skyline. The sun had propped out by that point when we were on our way back in. So there we are. That's Kitty's cats. Kitty's the second one in on the left-hand side there. And our group, this group that you're looking at, raised $58,000. So everybody did their bit on this group. There are a couple of people that don't swim that are a part of Kitty's cats too, but this was our team.
Now, is there somebody was she in charge in the sense that if somebody was having trouble, she would be the one to flag?
Yes. In fact, I've seen it happen where people do get in and they get a little nervous, and some people kind of quit on their own, and it's okay. I mean,
they just
it's
turn
better
back.
to be safe. They get picked up and they get brought back to the boat. Sometimes Kitty's aware of their swimming capabilities and suggests that they sit it out. But everybody rallies around them, and it's all good. It's all for safety. We have fun out there, but we have to stay safe too. And that's the boat that picks us up.
There you are.
Yeah, that's the boat that picks us up. We're in like a
excuse me,
Zodiac kind of boat that picks us up and then brings us back to the main boat. But that was like some of the people in my heat. So
now you have to forgive me. I've got to ask this question. How do you maintain your hair?
It's not maintained there.
No, but I mean, how isn't it? I mean, you've got that cap on, but is it really watertight?
No, it's not. So
you've got to rinse all that out immediately.
Yeah, the hair comes out looking pretty bad at the end of this. So, but you can see we're having fun. There's 2 or 3 people in there that come from the North Shore that I've gotten to know. The swimming community is kind of funny. The woman that's in front near me, she swims with a guy that my husband used to work with. So we're all having a lot of fun. A lot of people come back every year to do the swim, so we get to see one another and get very friendly with one another. Okay. And everybody that does the swim has been affected by cancer in some shape or form, with a friend or a family member. That's my friend Rob from the North Shore.
I saw this picture. You sent this to, I think.
Yeah, the Sun Chronicle took this picture.
It's a nice picture.
Did a little write-up about me after the swim.
And you're treading water.
There we are, yeah. There we're just treading water. We're way out there, too.
But you must be really strong.
It's a natural inclination. It's just a God-given talent.
To keep yourself up.
It's just a God-given talent, and that's why, this Swim Across America allows me to give back. I just feel so good about taking a sport that I practice every day almost and compete sometimes, but that I can give back, and I'm pretty good at raising money, and people know that, I do it every year, and I have a lot of generous donors that continuously support me. So that might have been the last picture.
All right.
I put in 7.
Oh, okay, good. I want to make sure we got all of the all of the pictures. So I'm just curious, the first time you did it, were you scared at all?
Well, the first time I did it, I actually did it at
you had swum in salt water prior.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I grew up in South Dartmouth,
right.
So we were at the beach all the time as a kid. So the first time I did it, there used to be an event out at Nantasket Beach, which was a mile swim. And that's the one I did initially. The boat thing.
For them or just
for Swim Across America. Then at a point they ran them back to back. This always happens on the Friday, and it goes all day. And the Nantasket swim was Saturday morning. And they were just finding that the people that had to organize and get all the, paraphernalia there and coordinate with everybody to have safety people on board and lifeguards and all that. It was really hard to run 2 events back to back in Boston. So they decided to consolidate and put everybody, that was still interested in doing it onto the boat. So that's when I upped my ante and went and did the boat event, which was a little bit more daunting than the mile swim
yes.
Nantasket. But these swims happen throughout the country. That's one unique thing about Swim
Across America.
Yes, they go on everywhere. And what happens is wherever there's a swim in Chicago, or there's a couple in Florida, there's a couple in Manhattan, it benefits the local cancer center. So for us, the swim benefits Dana-Farber and Mass General Pediatric Center, but elsewhere it might be supporting Sloan Kettering in New York, it's Johns Hopkins in Maryland.
Right.
In fact,
Cleveland Clinic is...
Yes, exactly. Michael Phelps, as a matter of fact, the all-time greatest Olympic swimmer. I think he's got 27 or 28 Olympic medals to his name. His first swim coach was just diagnosed with cancer.
Oh.
And in August, he did the Swim Across America event in Baltimore to support Johns Hopkins.
So in Chicago, are they swimming in the lake up there?
Yep, they are. They just started that in the last couple of years. So yes, they do.
Now, is that clean enough for people to
safely? Oh yeah, I mean they wouldn't send the Boston Harbor's clean enough. They wouldn't send any of us out unless.
Well, I mean obviously, but it just I wondered about that.
Yeah, and they just started a couple in Dallas. They've had some out in San Francisco, and it started wherever there was a coast. The states there, but they moved them interiorly, and they swim in pools in the interior in the country.
Now, is that
or
wetsuit
in the lakes
custom to you? Is it like a bespoke, or are you?
No,
They look like they must be hard to get into.
It is hard to get into. There's a little bit of a trick that when I went to try it on, like young kids that were there. You get like a plastic bag that you get at the grocery store, and you sort of, put that, well, you start with your legs, but you put it over your foot, and that helps the rubber slide. And then as soon as you get it up far enough, then you can pull out the plastic bag. And so
it's neoprene.
Well, it's a wetsuit. Yeah, it's the rubber. It's heavy rubber, and it keeps you warm because the temperature out there can be as cold as 56, 57 degrees. That's hypothermia if you stay in for too long. So, our faces are exposed. Sometimes it almost feels, if it's cold enough, like you're in ice. It feels
I can
that chilly.
imagine.
Your hands and feet, are exposed as well. But the body itself, and of course keeping the heart warm is, and the whole, abdominal cavity is really what's important when to thwart hypothermia. So you get in. There's a little bit of rush when you jump in with the cold water sort of finds its way through the sleeves of the legs.
Oh, it does.
A little bit. But then that warms up.
Yes, I'm right.
With exercise.
And what about sweating?
Well, there's probably a little bit of that going on.
Or not as much because of the cold.
Yeah, not too much. You're kind of, using up calories to stay warm, I think, when you're out there. But that's why they only keep us in for 15 or 20 minutes at a time, and then they pull us out and another heat goes in. So there's always a heat swimming, but it's always being rotated in and out. So that's the relay aspect of it, where a certain number of swimmers get so far. There's actually 2 big boats, and so we alternate between jumping off the boats.
Now, why do they call it a heat?
Well, that's what they call it in swimming and track. It's like, a group of people.
It refers to the group.
Yeah, so you know that you're heat 1 or 2 or 3. It just keeps you organized, and that's how they run a swimming events too. When you know that it's your turn to get up on the blocks, you're in a heat. And it's all based upon your time, how fast you can swim in this case. So you have to tell them, what do you typically swim a mile?
Oh, so you're consistent with
yes, yes, and that's why if she has to switch somebody out, sometimes people don't know how fast they swim, or in this environment they swim slower or faster than they think. So that's how people get switched out of heats too.
Now I have a question. What do you eat? Do you eat that morning? Do you eat the night before? And is there anything in particular you have?
No, I mean, I just kind of do my normal bowl of cereal in the morning with fruit. I might have some pasta the night before, just because that's easy on the stomach.
Right.
Everybody gets a little nervous doing these things. You kind of, am I going to be able to do this year? You get the butterflies. Just, I'm a confident swimmer, but you just kind of, wonder every year if you're still capable. So, I kind of do the pasta thing just because it's easy and goes down easily.
Right.
But, the swim's tremendous fun. And it's very social, and people, are in it for the right reason. When we come back and we're done with swimming, there's a rotunda at Rose Wharf, and we all gather in there.
At the big hotel?
Yes.
Oh, and they open that up to you?
They open that up
it's a gorgeous place.
Yes, and they have, hot drinks, and all our relatives are there to greet us. And they have the Boston fire boats come in when we swim our last leg in, and they do all the spray, to welcome us in.
Oh, how...
Yeah.
Now, do they provide, when you get into the hotel there, do they give you a place to change? So you
Yeah,
can change into clothes before you, or do you change back on the boat?
There's a shower right there when we get out. There's some steps where this is all where the commuter boats pull up and whatnot. But there are some steps to get out there, and there's a shower right there that you can kind of do quickly because everybody's kind of, there's 50 people that just want to shower off. But the hotel is generous with, their locker rooms because there's a health club downstairs there.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so, because you're pretty chilly. By that point, you want a nice hot shower for a few minutes. But what I was going to say about what happens in the rotunda is that they have some doctors that benefit from this money come speak to everybody. There's some doctors from the Pediatric Center at Mass General, and there's some doctors from Dana-Farber as well. So they come. It was Dr. Sweetser, actually. Then he has won a couple of awards at Mass General for his research on pediatric cancers. So sometimes we actually have a patient or two speak as well about the importance of where this money is going and how it benefited a clinical trial or wherever with research. And so the doctors talk about all that, and it's very inspirational to see they come out and talk to us and articulate and take the time to tell us where the money's going.
Well, we've actually, speaking of how we've run out of time, but thank you for doing this, Patricia. Thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me.
I'm
always happy to talk about my sport and Swim Across America and how it's helping people with cancer.
And then the next year people will know if you want to contact Patricia because you'll have your information underneath.
Oh, yes. SwimAcrossAmerica.org is.
Oh, okay.
And Charity Navigator, it gives back 92% of the money goes to...
it's well rated on Charity.
It's well rated on Charity Navigator at 92%. It's a very high percentage that goes back to the cancer institution.
Fabulous. Well, listen, thank you for watching Norfolk Notables. I've been here with Patricia St. Aubin talking about Swim Across America. I'm Anne Marie Battistone. This is NCTV. Thank you for watching.